Hey guys, what's going on? I'm that guy Dan96 and welcome aboard Alaska Airlines Flight 95. We're heading on over to Anchorage this evening from Seattle. Should be a pretty nice flight. We're going to be cruising at flight level 360, so let's hop in the cockpit and let's get it going. Alright, welcome to the flight deck of November 519er Alpha Sierra. We're heading on over, like I said, to Anchorage today from Seattle. Haven't done much of anything other than just kind of got some the fuel and payload and everything loaded in. As you can see up in the upper right hand corner of your video here, you can see I do have a camera set up so you guys can see my yoke, throttle, so you can see what I'm doing while I'm flying. It's only going to be during takeoff and landing. Once we're at cruise and whatnot, that'll go away, and you guys will be able to have a nice view of our flight up to Anchorage. So we're going to get going here. Let's go ahead and pop open the FMS. I just put in our route and align the IRS as we are at Seattle. We are flying to PMDG. Operating as Alaska Airlines Flight 95. We're departing runway 34 right. Winds are like 350 at 12, so it's going to be pretty nice for us. It's going to be a pretty nice headwind out of Seattle this afternoon. So we're going to depart on runway 34 right on the Banger 8 via Banger 8 Airy Uchi Foxtrot Oscar Charlie Hotel Echo. So we're direct to Price Papa Romeo Yankee Charlie Echo. Direct to Bravo Kilo Alpha. Direct to Larry Lima Alpha India Romeo Echo. And then we're direct Juliet Oscar Hotel. Then we're on the Witty 2. Arrival ILS 7 right, I'm going to expect. Witty 2, Juliet Oscar Hotel. And we're not going to do any transition to this ILS. Activate and execute that. We got 25. Our zero fuel weights I got loaded up is 120.8. Oops. 20.8, 145.8. I'll put 4 in the reserves, and the cost index for this flight's going to be 80. I don't know what Alaska uses, but that's what the dispatch gave me. We're cruising at level 360. Cruise wind is going to be 019 at 58. And the ISO deviation is going to be +4. Execute that. Since I don't have an OPC, I'm just going to assume we're just going to do 22. We'll do a 24 KD rate. That's fine by me, and we'll do climb 1. Takeoff, be a flap 5 departure. CG, I don't know what that is. We'll just pop it in. 529 on the trim and 130, 130, 139, 140, 148. Be 168. I'll set in here. Boom. Let me go ahead here and check runway heading out of Seattle. Runway 34 right heading is 343. I'll go ahead and set that in the course as well. That way the course just isn't zeros. Boom. And so right now we're at Charlie 15. If you look at your charts, I'll leave charts in the description so you can go ahead and check them out. Our Charlie 15 is one of the most northern gates on the Charlie terminal. We'll push back, taxi out via Bravo, and we'll just take Bravo all the way down to runway 34 right. And that is chart 20-9, and then our departure is chart 20-3, effective the 9th of October 2015. Runway 34 right. Climb heading 343 at or above 932 direct Dove, then on track 341 to cross Whirl. At or above 3,100, then on depict route to Bangor, cross Bangor at above 10,000. At Bangor, via transition, maintain assigned altitude, expect filed altitude flight level 15 nautical miles from Seattle VOR. So pretty much we can go ahead and I'll keep 10,000 in the altitude. Actually, you know what? I'm going to put 18. That way it'll go off right 1,000 before we need to, set our altimeters and whatnot. We can go ahead and set this, cruising at flight level 360. And landing altitude in Anchorage, I don't even know. Check the library, PANC. 150. Alright, had my handy Anchorage charts there. Alright. Set this up, be ready for departure. Good. Let's see, outside air temperature 22. Hook up some air conditioning. Alright. So we're pretty much ready for departure here. Altimeters are set. So should be pretty good. Hopefully we'll be getting out of here a couple minutes early. So we're on board the People, and we'll see you back when we're ready to go. Alright, so we just finished boarding today, so why don't we go ahead and start the APU. We'll say we're getting some stragglers on board here. We're just waiting to go now. I do have air conditioning, ground power, and the wheel chocks on, so as soon as we get the APU started up, we'll go ahead and turn some of that stuff off. Looking like we're going to have a good flight here. And then, what is this again? November 519 Alpha Sierra. So we got everything closed up and ready to go for departure.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
Right, yep, they're coming over to lock the gear and put the bypass pin in. Well, fun fact, for those of you that don't know what the bypass pin does, the bypass pin essentially, you turn off the hydraulic pumps, which removes any hydraulic fluid from the nose wheel, because you don't want that, you don't want the tug trying to steer the plane with hydraulic fluid in there. So you turn off the A pumps, which removes hydraulic fluid from the nose gear, but there's also a bypass pin inserted where, for some reason, if you were still getting hydraulic fluid down to the main gear, the nose wheel, not the main gear, but the nose wheel, that bypass pin will shut off all electron. So you all hydraulics. So you have two systems, again, redundancy, to stop hydraulic fluid from getting in the main gear. Why do I keep saying main gear? The nose gear. Brakes released. Flip on our anti-collision light. Pop on the transponder now while we're here. And we can go ahead and start, we'll do number 1. Starting number 1, I don't know how these guys are going to push me back, so we'll see. Oh, I think they have their planes like this, too. Yeah, probably do. This is in Southwest, Daniel. Move forward. Starting number 1. Just watch and make sure the N2 is rising nicely, N1. The fuel flow, EGT, oil pressure, oil temperature, and oil quantity. Well, oil quantity ain't going to change, but oil pressure, oil temperature are staying within their limits. Watch to make sure there's nothing going wrong with the engine. At 56.2% N2, it's going to cut out. Center pumps are off for some reason. There was a cutout. I'm just going to watch for the EGT to start coming backwards. There it is. I flipped it into continuous, and we can start number 2. Same thing for number 2. We're just watching N1, N2, fuel flow, oil pressure, and oil temperature. And we can start introducing fuel. Oh, they did a good job. Look at that.
Set parking brakes.
Brake set. Watching all our parameters, making sure everything is okay. Again, at 56.2% N2, we're gonna, there it is, it's gonna cut out. We're just waiting for a drop in EGT. There it is. Flaps 5. Those can go up. Oh, right.
Left is clear. Right is clear.
Thanks, dude. Appreciate your service for pushing us back. You guys start FO's clock. Forgot to do that on pushback. There we go. And we'll go ahead and check the flight controls, and we'll be good to go. I always love that view. Watching the flight controls move. Alright. We can head on over to runway 34 right. There goes JetBlue. Off to Boston, probably. Alright, so again, we're just going to taxi out pretty much via Bravo. So it'll be a left turn here on Bravo, and we'll taxi on out. Delta connection just landed. Is wing view as we taxi on out to runway 34 right. And what do we got off our left here? It looks like a couple Delta A330s. I think this goes up to Asia and stuff like that. I could be wrong. Got here, it looks like we got Emirates off our left. We got the Alaska maintenance hangars. Ahead we got a Delta, looks like some sort of CRJ getting ready to depart. Omni Air International, Emirates. Whole lineup of people over there. Flight attendants know that we're ready for departure. Right, we'll be ready to depart runway 34 right. I know there was that CRJ. Looks like he's going, so we'll line up and wait. Alright, yeah, I see lights out in front, which means that RJ is out. He's making a right turn, so let's go ahead and depart runway 34 right. Next stop, Anchorage. Set takeoff thrust. 80 knots.
V1. Rotate. V2.
Gear up. To 400 feet, I'm trying to maintain V2 plus 20. It's 500 feet, LNAV. Start speeding up now. VNAV. Come back to climb 1. Doing our best to follow the flight director. Flaps 1. Flaps up. That's the auto brakes. I always make sure to turn off my retractable lights, just in case we get above 10,000 feet. We start going above 250 knots. I don't want to rip those off. The max limitation speed of those is 250 knots, so we got to make sure we don't exceed that. So I just turn them off now. That way, once we get up to 10,000, start accelerating, I don't forget about them. I don't want to land and then all of a sudden notice my retractable landing gear lights are gone. A little fast. Nice evening departure out of Seattle. Looking forward to flying up to Anchorage. I've never been up there before, so this should be pretty fun. It's a first for me. It's really only my second time flying Alaska Airlines, too. I flew one other flight with them that I tried to record, but I didn't set up audio channels the right way, so the engines were way too loud and I couldn't change it because my voice and engines were on the same audio track. So that was a disaster. We flew up to Seattle from Salt Lake City. It was, and it was Sunday night. It's Tuesday now, so oh well. We're doing this one, and that's all that matters. I really want to get back into recording stuff and making at least 2 videos a week, hopefully coming out with stuff and just doing flights, just doing sorts of stuff like this. I love flying, so this is not a problem to me. I'll try to switch it up and do different airlines. Can't guarantee if there's going to be any European flying, considering I know nothing about Europe and I have no sceneries over there and whatnot, but you never know. We'll see. Alright, there's 10,000 feet. Start pitching down. And there's no weather around here, so I'm just going to go ahead and keep terrain on. Why not? We're flying over some cool mountain ranges here, so not a biggie to me. Should probably go ahead and put my SID on my chart here. Wow, do those look awesome. Those really look awesome. Should be flying the plane, but just look at that. It's great when you've got the thing trimmed out. It flies pretty nicely. You can see I don't even have my hands on controls, and it's flying. So When you trim out your plane, you learn that flying a Cessna. Trim is your friend. Use trim the right way and the plane flies beautifully. We'll go ahead and pitch down, put on Command A now. Command A. And there we go. We are on our way up to Anchorage. Okay, we're just leveling off at flight level 360. We can go ahead and turn off the fasten seatbelt sign. And we can go ahead, we could have done this during climb up, but I was too busy trying to get cool shots and stuff like that. We're going to go ahead and put in our winds. Our winds for our waypoints here. That way the FMS can better calculate arrival times at waypoints and whatnot, even the top descent time. So, Fauci. At 360, winds are 12012 at 67. Price, winds are 328 at 39. This is why we do this. As you can see, the winds are different all over the place, so it's easier for the FMS to calculate times and whatnot when it has pretty precise winds for our waypoints. Blair winds are 238 at 74. And JOH 213 at 99. And that's it for that. We can execute that. And that'll give us just a little better of a flight time. It'll be able to figure out our times a lot easier, and we'll be on our way up to Anchorage. Looks like we got 1,044 nautical miles to go, and we'll be descending here in about 2 hours and 30 minutes, two and a half hours or so. So sit back, relax, enjoy the flight, guys, and I'll see you guys when we're on our way down to Anchorage. Alright guys, so we're back. We're about 40 nautical miles away from our top of descent. We're actually a little bit closer. We can go ahead and set up our descent forecast. So we can go ahead and set that up here looking at my dispatch right here. We're going to set up, first of all, we can do our ISA deviation. That's going to be +4. And the current altimeter right now in Anchorage is going to be 2955. We can go ahead and set that in. We set up our winds. We've got winds, descent winds for flight level 310, 15,000, and 10,000. And the winds up here, 310, winds of 208 at 85. 15,000, winds of 216 at 34. And at 10,000, winds are going to be 203 at 34. Go ahead and execute that, and we'll go look at our charts here. So showing up on your screen now is going to be the Whitty 2, our nav arrival. Chart 10-2 Foxtrot, effective the 9th of October 2015. We're coming up of Johnstone Point. 10-2 Foxtrot, effective the 9th of October 2015. We're coming up of Johnstone Point. 10-2 Foxtrot, effective the 9th of October 2015. We're coming up of Johnstone Point. 10-2 Foxtrot, effective the 9th of October 2015. We're coming up of Johnstone Point. 10-2 Foxtrot, effective the 9th of October 2015. We're coming up of Johnstone Point. 10-2 Foxtrot, effective the 9th of October 2015. We're coming up of Johnstone Point. 10-2 Foxtrot, effective the 9th of October 2015. We're coming up of Johnstone Point. 10-2 Foxtrot, effective the 9th of October 2015. We're coming up of Johnstone Point. 10-2 Foxtrot, effective the 9th of October 2015. We're coming up of Johnstone Point. 10-2 Foxtrot, and pretty much Johnstone Point to Whitty. We're going to cross Whitty at or above 16,000. From Whitty on track 296 to Gale, then on track 276 to Slow, then on track 303 to Slitty, then on track 251 to Andy, then on track 252 expect rate of vectors to the final approach course. Gale's going to be 215,000 and 12,000, Slow at or above 8,000, Andy at 210 knots and 5,000 feet. We'll transition over to the ILS runway 7 right. Chart 10-2 effective the 9th of October 2015. ATIS is 135.5. The localizer is 111.3. Approach course is going to be 72. ILS decision height 200 feet. If we go Mr. Approach, we'll climb 600, climbing right turn 2,500 abound or on the Anchorage VR on the 210 degree rail to jump up intersection and hold. We have LSF2 lighting config Pappy on the right. Pretty straightforward arrival. Once we're in Anchorage, we'll land on runway 7 right. Orbx 2. Set that up now. Orbx 2 will shoot for Golf. I'll take Golf into the gate. We'll go to gate Charlie 6. So if we actually just 7 right and get off on Golf, they'll take us right to the gate. That'll be a pretty quick taxi in. That is chart 10-9 effective the 8th of April 2016. And a parking chart, if we look over here, we go into Charlie 6. Chart 10-9 Bravo, effective the 10th of October 2014. If you look, we're right off of Golf. That takes us right into Taxi Lane Echo 1. Charlie 6, that'll be perfect. We can actually go ahead now and set in flight level 180. This way we know when we're coming up to having to reset the altimeters and whatnot, and we'll begin our descent into Anchorage. Alright, we're back. We've been descending into Anchorage. I haven't recorded the entire descent for you because nothing really happened other than me setting the altimeters and selecting a VREF. So I didn't feel like there was any reason to keep it in there. You guys would just get bored with it. So we're passing through 7,000 now. We just passed Silty. We're right now on our way to Andy, and we're going to cross at 210 knots and at 5,000. So put that in. So and then we're going to transition over to the ILS runway 7 right approach, but right now we're on our way down to 5,000 and 210 knots. So the frequency is 111.3. Approach course is going to be 72. Alright, and we'll fully set up for the ILS 7 right. The current weather right now in Anchorage, it's updating. Yeah. Okay, currently right now, this is going to be interesting. We're landing on runway 7 right, and winds 15018, gusting 30, 10 miles light rain, and overcast skies. So it is extremely windy right now down there with some light rain. So it's gonna make for an interesting approach. We're gonna have a pretty hefty crosswind. So this will be a good one for you guys. We'll test my skills here and see what I can do. Don't be surprised if there's not a go around in this, because that's pretty windy. Alright, so we got the forelock and we're gonna be turning final here. We're gonna put the speed brakes back down. Flaps 5, speed 200. There's Vorlock. And there's Anchorage out in front of us here, about 15 miles. I didn't necessarily want to be this far out, but you know, just kind of happened this way. I was also kind of fiddling with my recording software. It was acting a little silly back there, so I had to tweak it a little bit and got it fixed. Now we just have a longer final. Not a big deal. It is a pretty nice evening, but you can see right now the wind is 135 at 17 and it's gusting 30, so it's going to be pretty interesting. Again, like I said, don't be surprised if there's not a go around in this, because this is pretty windy.
Alright, we can go speed 180. Coming up to a 5-mile final here pretty soon. We can go gear down, flaps 15. On the speed brakes. Just coming down. Alright, here comes a glide slope. Take it back to 160. Start taking it back to our VREF of 140. On the pilot off, this approach altitude of 2,500 is set. We go flaps 30. Alright. And landing checklist, speed brakes armed, green light, landing it down 3 green, flap 30 green light. Our landing checklist is complete, and we are on final to runway 7 right in Anchorage. Current wind is 131 at 19er. Pretty hefty 19 knot crosswind off my nose. I just remembered, I don't know if I have altitude callouts on this. I've never flown approach without altitude callouts, so I have no idea how that's going to go. It appears I have partial lighting on the runway. I don't know what the hell that is. Watch the scenery be completely jacked up. Getting pushed to the right a little. Correction, being pushed left. Yeah, it looks like there's partial approach lighting. For my guesses. Some AI plane crossing the runway right now. There's 300. Landing. Come on. There it is. Well, welcome to Anchorage. And it looks like we are going to make golf here. Whew. We did it. 19 knots of crosswind fun. God, my plane wants to pull so hard right into the wind. Good, put the speed brakes on, flaps going up. Going to assume we're cleared across to runway 25, or correction, 7 left. We're going to say on golf to the gate. Whew. That was interesting. I would have to say that was interesting. Coming up here on Charlie 6, we got a 737-400 for Alaska up off our left here. And here's Charlie 6. Perfect. got a double marshaller. Which one do I follow? I don't know. I'm going to... I'm just going to follow the GSX guy. I don't know what this other dude is doing. He's probably a new hire pretending. Trying to marshal a plane in. Stop that, and... shut down the engines. APU on. Turn off that. Well, we did it. Made it to Anchorage, and that dude's gonna keep pretending to marshal me in here. Look at the size difference. Someone's way out of scale, and I think it'd be that dude, not our GSX. I don't think GSX is out of whack. Alright, let's go ahead and... I'm gonna say we can connect all that stuff. The doors. Can open the doors. What's the temperature outside? 17, yeah. So, connect that, and we will turn off our APU. And remove that, and request deboarding. We made it. Welcome to Anchorage. My first time. I like it. Well, guys, that's all for this one. I appreciate you guys coming along with me on Alaska Airlines Flight 95, Seattle to Anchorage. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.